in that lead. 8 points separate him from 5th place. And in the men's event, huge variation can be seen between the two performances. As we see the flags representing the different judges. And then the ISU flag assigned to the members of the technical panel. And great to see today even more audience participation. This venue has 3,500 seats, and the women's free skate boasted an even stronger audience than yesterday, and that's something that we, the skating community, so want to see. Want to see this amazing sport and these incredible athletes supported in the venues and online as the skaters take to the ice.
Representing France, Francois Pitot.
France's Francois Pitot, the first to skate.
Representing the United States of America, Camden Pulkinen.
And then to 24-year-old, born in Arizona, Camden Pulkinen.
Representing Italy, Nikolaj Memola.
And then to the 20-year-old Nikolaj Memola.
Representing France, Luc Economides.
And a louder volume for the cheer for Luc Economides. Wait to hear
Representing France, Siao Him Fa.
the elated response for Siao Him Fa.
Representing Switzerland, Lukas Britschgi.
And then to the final competitor in this first warm-up group, Lukas Britschgi. So it's exciting to consider how this event will unfold. Lots of variables and perhaps question marks over the form that the athletes come into this event with. As we see Francois Pitot, he struggled through the short program yesterday, fell on the opening quad cycle, but then incurred no value at all for his axle attempt, popped the triple axle into a single, and that in a senior men's short program has no value whatsoever.
He also recently placed 11th at Skate America. From France,
but
Francois Pitot
does have quality both in components and in tech score, and we wish him a clean skate when he performs the first of this men's event. As we look to Camden Pulkinen, another skater who struggled with the axle jump in the short program. He fared one rotation better than Francois Pitot by double axle, but of course it's triple that he wants. Mentioning yesterday how Camden continues to juggle, previously juggling his academic studies, now his full-time position in financial services in New York City.
reading poetry and Gothic architecture. He finished 3rd last year at the U.S. National Championship from the United States of America. Camden Pulkinen.
A beautiful skater, such good soft knee bend, such good flow and glide.
Nicolas est entraîné par sa mère, Olga Romanova.
And now to Nikolaj Memola, the 20-year-old, who, fascinatingly, I was checking out his ISU biography, and his height suggests that Nikolaj Memola is, I think, about 6'4", and that is potentially one of the tallest figure skaters competing at this standard of competition that I have known of. And that makes it all the more impressive how well he assimilates his rotational position with those long limbs. As we look to Luc Economides.
Vice-champion de France élite en titre, deuxième du Challenger Series Cranberry Cup International 2024.
So brilliant at this event 12 months ago, en route to the 6th place finish that he had. And he has such a strong connection with his music, as all the students of Laurent Amodio do. Excited to see his Interstellar by Hans Zimmer free skate and the movement choices that he has within that. As we look to the favorite coming into this event, Adam Siao Him Fa, and he will be skating to the Dune soundtrack, probably the most popular music choice of this year. Choreographer Benoit Richaud explaining that they are inhabiting the main character story. And interestingly, they were talking about being generous to the audience and giving them something to remember, and also an eagerness and a discussion on attracting as many people as possible to connect with, hopefully embracing not just the skating community audience, but fans from beyond as well. Talking of that, Lukas Britschgi, another skater who is mindful of the opportunity this medium of skating and art form offers. A really brilliant concept for his short program with the sign language used in the step sequence. Today, the choreography done by Adam Soya will be of him traveling through time, different galaxies and new dimensions, and that one of his favorite programs that he's ever done. Well, correction for Nikolaj Memola, his height listed as 195 centimeters tall, would be almost 6'5" tall. And how wonderful that is for the skaters and the coaches. Often we can have a preconceived idea of the optimal physical stature for the difficult jumping passes. I remember Evan Lysacek, the 2010 Olympic champion. I think he crossed the 6 foot tall marker, and that was noteworthy. And it didn't prevent him from going on to obviously great success as an Olympic champion. Nikolaj, possibly 6'5", and jumping quad loops, as we have seen from him in the past, suggesting that he could break new ground and the expectation of what's possible, irrespective of height. And for all of these men, no matter how tall or not they are, the years of work and dedication to their craft on and off the ice to be able to jump quadruple jumps cannot be underestimated, must not be underestimated. If you're watching this broadcast as a non-skater, the level of life devotion to our sport to be able to jump these kind of difficult feats is enormous. As Romain Ponsard himself, a former successful competitive skater for France, talks about shoulder alignment for his student. And coach Romain Ponsard has enjoyed great success with this first competitor, Francois Pitot, as a junior, and now he will have had to work hard overnight to positively encourage Francois Pitot after the disappointment of the short program, one of his lowest international short program scores of his career, but now hoping to resume towards his personal best in his Matrix-inspired free skate.
Welcome to the real world.
Better than yesterday, just one hand down on the opening quadruple salto. Rotated unlike yesterday, but down on the triple axel. Shame, he had the landing, that triple axels, just slipped off it. But behind the mistakes on the technical score, Francois showcases good aesthetic in his movement, good flow, and swings to the triple lutz. And somehow manages to combine it with triple toe. Well, a lovely version of the Matrix music, not as commonly used. Delicate choice of the Matrix, and Francois Pitot delivering a skate that was better, probably than the short program. Skaters would arguably rather incur a fall on a rotated jump than a pop, and yesterday in the short program he popped the triple axel into a single and did a double-double combination as well. So although there were mistakes today for Francois, he showcased more conviction to the performance as we see him leave the ice, and it makes me consider the future for an athlete like Francois. We think about Siao Him Fa, who had less success, I believe, as a junior than Francois has had, and Francois certainly showcases here, despite the mistakes, the potential to go on to achieve success as a senior in the future. As we see the opening quad salco, yesterday it was under rotated, fully rotated today. This, the triple axel, not the first of the two, the second of the two triple axels was actually closer to sustaining the landing position. Here, had it, doesn't have it, shame. And this, look at the amount of glide that he generates in between, a little bit off axis, but manages triple lutz, triple toe, and that an indication of the good jump technique that he has, which I'm sure he and Romain Possard, the coaching staff, are working on turning into a quad lutz there, the triple lutz again, but as part of the 3-jump combo with 2 double axels. But as I touched on in the short program, the Senior Grand Prix events come with much greater gravitas, much more serious event than what Francois will have enjoyed so successfully as a junior at Junior Grand Prix. And now hopefully this has bedded him in positively to move forward from in training. 134.23. So although not near the success that he's had in the past, it's a new season's best, I believe. Sorry, slightly shy of that season's best.
Next to skate from the United States of America, please welcome Camden Pulkinen.
As we see Coach Alex Johnson encouraging Camden, I sense, to stay focused as he heads towards his opening position for his free skate, with Camden skating to the music Solitude and Outro. Immediately showing such good style in the body movement to open the program from Camden. Just double toe. Recovering with triple toe. And a good triple axel Euler, triple Salchow. Stepping out of the double axel after the triple loops. And now unraveling a little bit with the double flip. Whoa, Going for a slide within the choreo sequence, has to showcase 2 skating movements to have a choreo sequence called by the tech panel. Just missing it on that slide a little bit. America's Camden Pulkinen. And for me, the highlight of the performance was the opening movement, just the commitment to aesthetic and line. Obviously has worked so hard on fundamental skating skills. I do sense that there's a lack of run-throughs being able to be done in practice, perhaps, because the fatigue was evident. And again, if you're a non-skater watching this, a 4-minute senior men's program is physically exhausting beyond comprehension. What is likely to be the challenge for Camden is just, as we said before, juggling the full-time work that he has. And it's hard enough mentally to psych yourself up to do run-throughs every day, never mind to do that after or before a full day of work as a full-time employee in financial services in New York City. So perhaps that's the rationale behind the dissipation of the quality in the program components latterly in this program. As we see the entry into the intended quad toe popping open into a double. But they are great to see the depth of edge in the back crossovers as we look at triple lutz in combo with triple toe. And at this point in time, you can see the clarity of body line as he steps up into an easy looking triple axel Euler triple Zalco. And that really is the evidence with Camden. When he's fit and comfortable, everything that he does has a sense of effortlessness and class towards it. It's hard to replicate that throughout all 12 elements in the course of this 4-minute program. You can see there that undoubtedly a step out of the double axel due to lactic acid buildup in his right thigh. But again, as I said in the short program, great that he is embracing, as he says in his own words, the opportunity to perform. And Camden will be such a wonderful artist to watch in performance without the pressure. I think Alex is, as coach, a little bit more focused on the job in hand. $129.12, just trying to hear and listen in to the words of coach to skater. He acknowledging too that fatigue had a part to play.
Next is skater from Italy, Nikolaj Memola.
And now to the skater in 10th place after the short program, Nikolaj Memola. He's been returning from injury throughout the off-season, but you can see there simulating the takeoff for first the lutz and then the axel. Those will be the first 2 jumps in his planned program content. Look out for the quad lutz to start for Nikolaj. And he lands it quad lutz. Nikolaj looking utterly committed. This time triple axel, or their triple salchow. And another huge triple axel. The flying sit spin that Nikolaj was hoping for in this short program. He had no value for that element yesterday. Today, a level 4. Beautiful Ina Bauer as part of the choreo sequence. You can see the passion from Nikolaj. Well, I'm sure inside his mother is bursting with pride as she offers polite applause in reaction to the clean skate from Nikolaj Memola. Yesterday, there was despondency, and I think Nikolaj showcased a passion that was based upon all of the challenges that he's gone through over the past 6 months, being unable to skate for weeks on end. And then when he finally came back after the ankle fracture, then had further illness which prevented him from training. And so now this performance is a testament to all the hard work he's done. And as he said, the encouragement his mother has given him to push through when others would have given up, being forced to face so many challenges in quick succession. Here, the quad loops. There'll be a check-in under the edge call of the takeoff. But this triple axel, the drive through of his right leg on takeoff, maintains the flow as well as the height. And you can see the line and the aesthetic of his landing position. It makes it very easy for the judges to give a good grade of execution. There it is again. Trademark use of his left arm to flourish the landing positions, and at this point, I think that was after the flying sit spin which caused him problems yesterday, he started to smile. And there's another smile as he realized this was turning into a clean performance as his mum looks on. There it is again, the landing position. That triple flip double axel. And fascinatingly, we've talked about how tall he is. He appears to create speed, not necessarily through ankle and knee bend in his pushes, but the draw of his free leg. He utterly utilizes and plays to his strengths with the long limbs that he has to cultivate flow. And that will be reflected in his skating skills component score. No Barbara Fusapoli today. She was the choreographer of his short program. Corrado Giordani, I believe, the choreographer of this, the free skate. And you can tell the understanding between parent and son, skater and coach. Not many words have to be spoken. There's obviously a bond and a connection between a student-coach, child-parent relationship that breaks all conventional boundaries, unlike the others. And so many we see, so many of these athletes are fortunate enough to have their parent act as their coach, supporting them at elite competition. So 158.91 for Nikolaj Memola. And he brings his hands together in gratitude for the lead, which he hopes will be continuing as we look to the next skater.
Next to skate representing France, Luc Economides.
As Luc Economides takes to the ice, I loved his short program interpretation, and the step sequence which he delivered in the short program had some +4s, multiple +4s from the judges, so it was well received by the judging community as well. This, a different type of performance as he skates to Interstellar. Popped quad toe into triple toe to start. Unbelievable cat-like ability to stay on his feet on that triple axel despite being so off axis. Much better with the triple loads. Luc continues to stay engaged and invested in his presentation in the middle of the program.
Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day.
Grave men near death who see with blinding sight. Blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage against the dying of the light.
And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into my
Triple flip, triple toe, one more
rage,
big
rage,
combo before we can see him exploit this choreography. Successfully done. Triple Lutz, Euler, triple Salchow. Luc Economides from France. What a captivating step sequence the penultimate element of that free skate was. The passion, the sincerity, I maybe enjoyed more than they did, was just so engaging. It's a skater that makes you want to skate. The way that he delivers that step sequence makes me want to go and skate. Our choreographer be engaged. He's so utterly invested and committed, and I know that a lot of that will be inspired by that man on screen, Florent Amodio, who was renowned for that en route to his successes as a European champion. He doesn't have technically the same ease and effortlessness as others do, nor does he have the same plan, program, content difficulty as some others do, but what Luc brings is just so wonderful to my mind. Here, I look back at the technical score. This, you can see, totally outside of the circle. That will have felt really uncomfortable as he was going for quad toe, opening up into triple. And this, the fact that that doesn't have a fall assigned to that element based on how off-axis he was in the air, amazes me. Much better on the second triple axel, one hand down, but does manage to put it in combination with double toe. The triple flip in combo with the triple toe. And you can see there just scratching on the blade, changing edge a little bit on the landings. Here the triple Lutz Euler, triple Salchow. Look again at the shortness of the back edge. So where we see some of the other athletes like Nikolaj Memola sustaining prolonged running edges, their grades of execution for the tech score will be higher. But to me, I don't know if we'll find many skaters delivering as much presentation as Luc had. And just to confirm, the criteria that the judges have for presentation is that expressiveness, projection, and a variety and contrast of energy and movements, and a musical sensitivity and timing. I think Luc did a brilliant job of that. It's not going to be a stellar score though, based on the tech score, 135.89. But Luc drops just one place behind the advancing Nikolaj Memola, who is some 20 points above. Well, the resounding sound of Ale for Adam Siao Him Fa. He has picked Dune as the soundtrack to this free skate. He, the main character. And he and his team are conscious of the desire to make memorable movement and memorable performances, but he will need a much stronger tech score than the short program yesterday if he has a chance of repeating as champion in Angers. Quad looks to start so perfectly on music as well. Pops the quad toe into a double. Some brave and bold choreography choice as he story tells through the performance. Another quad toe planned. Choreo sequence underway with the legal backflip and his trademark toe Arabian. And you can tell what that means to Adam Siao Him Fa as he completes his free skate. And what I admire so much about Adam this season is how he hasn't used injury as an excuse. He's already competed this year. He competed at the Trophy Metropole in Nice, and it wasn't until recently that we were starting to become more aware of the injury that sidelined him for so long in the off-season, but isn't using that as an excuse at all. Here, back at the Grand Prix d'Angers, doing all he can to crawl back up onto the podium and contend to repeat as champion. And apart from one popped quad toe, it was an otherwise clean skate for the Frenchman. And what's also really brilliant for us as fans of the sport is to hear how he and coaches Cedric Tour, Rodolphe Maréchal and Benoît Richaud are all keen to create work that transcends the sport and engages with fans outside of our skating community. They want to give something to people to remember and attract as many people as possible to connect with. Here's the Lutz. And he struggled with that Lutz in Nice. Triple axel. And double axel. And this part of the choreography, which was so impressive. And that angle of the quad toe showcases the height and length in the jump. And the judges have their clear criteria on what constitutes a good grade of execution, good height and length being one of the bullet points to boost the GOE of the skater and enhance the tech scores. We see the second of the triple axels, which he, I suspect, smartly put with just a double salto after the Euler, as opposed to risking a triple salto when he would have been undoubtedly exhausted. So he had 175 in Nice, France, 171.68 in Angers at the Grand Prix de France, and a total score of 246.58. A huge margin off of the 306 he had here 12 months ago. We wish him all the best returning from injury.
Next to skate, representing Switzerland, Lukas Britschgi.
And now to Lukas Britschgi, the 26-year-old Swiss skater who, in this free program, hopes to show the story of traveling through time and different galaxies, new dimensions, but he acknowledged he needs his tech score to work to give power to the story. Quad toe, triple toe for Lukas. Down on the second quad toe. Rushing the takeoff of the triple loop, and now rushing the forward outside edge of the camel spin in the change foot combo. Ooh, lovely triple axel. The last jumping past the triple flip. It's one of the best butterfly entries into the flying camel. Oh, brilliant split loose butterfly transition as choreography to the close of the program for Lukas Britschgi from Switzerland. And they're patting that right thigh. I'm not sure which of his knees, but I know that Lukas has been struggling with a recurring knee injury that is constantly plaguing him at times, making training virtually impossible. And I'm sure it's the same for many sports, but for the skaters, we need our knees to be cooperative as much as possible, not just for generating elevation on jump takeoffs, but for cushioning the landing as well. But again, like others, Lukas not using that as an excuse. He acknowledged that coming to this competition, he needed the tech score to give power to the story of his performance. An athlete who is almost always asked to perform in the gala exhibitions thanks to his expressive abilities, but he knows more than anyone how important the tech score is. His coach Michael Huth checks in with him. Here the drop 3 turn entry, interesting use of the arms to elevate on the quad toe into triple toe, little tight in the landing, but unfortunately down on the second quad. So the first quad toe triple toe amassed over 14.5 points for Lukas. The second quad toe with a fall, 3.8. So, and their mistakes like the pops on the doubles into singles corroborates everything that Lukas knew, that he needed jump landings. He needed the tech score to be fruitful. Coach Michael knows that. That said, still relatively early in the season for Lukas. He has been numerous times a competitor at ISG Championships, 4 participations at the World Championships, and about 8 months ago, 7 to 8 months ago, he had his best ever World Championship result, finishing 6th in Montreal. He's now 4 months out from hopefully competing at Worlds again in Boston, and eager to return to one of the top competitors in the world as he rubs his knees again. Well, I've loved listening to Michael Huth in the Kiss and Cry for his students in both the men's and women's event over the course of the past 2 days, framing things very positively and encouragingly, and maybe jokingly. It's 135.85. a long way shy of his best for Lukas Britschgi. So that concludes the first group in the men's free skate. Adam Siao Him Fa, somewhat unsurprisingly, moving up, as has Nikolaj Memola. Has Adam done enough to continue that upward trajectory in the men's event? Is he going to develop a reputation as a skater who scales the rankings between the short and free skate?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the skaters.
The first to skate in this group, Mikhail Shaidorov, representing Kazakhstan.
Representing Japan, Koshiro Shimada.
And then to Koshiro Shimada,
Représentant les États-Unis d'Amérique,
Representing United States.
before seeing Andrew Torgashev, the American 23-year-old from Florida.
représentant le Japon,
Representing Japan, Kazuki Tomono.
Then to Kazuki Tomono,
représentant l'Estonie,
Representing Estonia, Aleksandr Selevko.
before the second place competitor after the short program, Aleksandr Selevko.
représentant la Chine,
Representing China, Boyang
And then the leader, perhaps surprisingly so, but certainly excitingly so, Boyang Jin.
d'échauffement.
6 minutes warm up.
And there, the starting order and also the results of yesterday's competition, with the first man to compete being Mikhail Shaidorov. He didn't have the skate that he was hoping for in the short program
Cal est entraîné
and had problems with his quad lutz, which is usually a secure jump for this skater.
Sixième du championnat des
He
quatre
has a
continents
planned
et
program
14e
content
des championnats du monde
that
2024.
includes a triple axle
Gagnant du
quad
Challenger
toe
Series des
combination,
Disciplines Mémoriales
which would be
2024.
incredibly exciting for us to see. It
Représentant
would
le
be the
Kazakhstan,
first time that such a
Mikhail
difficult
Shaidorov.
combination as that has been done in ISU competition.
He recently finished first at the Challenge Cup in Tilburg and at the ISU Janistan Memorial Challenge. From Kazakhstan, Mikhail Shaidorov.
And then to the fifth place skater after the short program, Koshiro Shimada.
S'entraîne en Suisse avec Stéphane Lambiel, champion du monde et
He will be
médaillé
using the same free skate
Dolphini.
as
Il est
last year,
vice-champion national 2023.
but he has been
Il avait participé
revamping
au Prix de France ici
and
en
re-choreographing certain aspects, including the choreo sequence.
Koshiro Shimada.
Koshiro has relocated to Switzerland to train with coach Stéphane Lambiel, former Olympic silver medalist in 2005 and world champion in 2006.
He will be hoping to
He recently
maintain
placed sixth
the
at
fifth place after the short program, comparative to last year's 10th place here in Angers a year ago.
Andrew est entraîné par Raphaël et Vera
And then
Radulov.
to Andrew Torgashev,
Des médailles en championnat
who excitingly finds himself just one spot off the podium.
Huitième
And based on world ranking, Andrew started the event in the men's short because he was the lowest
des États-Unis d'Amérique,
of the competitors competing here. But his position in fourth place, totally justified.
He finished fifth
Apart from a little slip in the transitions, it was an otherwise clean skate for Andrew.
at the ISU Neverhome Trophy in Oberstdorf. From the United States of America, Andrew Torgashev.
Kazuki est entraîné par Dejin Ereke.
And then to Kazuki Tomono.
Il a participé de nombreuses fois aux championnats des quatre continents et aux championnats du monde. Il a terminé troisième du Challenge Cup 2024 en ce début de saison à
Et-
Tilburg. Représentant le Japon, Kazuki Tomono.
Did well with two quads
In Osaka with Dejin Ereke.
in the short program, quad toe and quad salco.
Established stores and reading. He recently placed third at the Challenge Cup in Tilburg from Japan. Kazuki Tomono.
But injury has been a factor that has curtailed his preparation. How will it affect him through the course of a free skate?
Est entraîné par Irina Konomonova, Raphaël Aratonian et
You see
Katerina Kalenda.
Alexander Selevko
Le premier patineur estonien
so enjoyed
à avoir gagné une médaille
his
au
short
niveau
program.
international. Il est médaillé
Such
d'argent
a
des championnats d'Europe 2024.
seemingly casual style,
Représentant l'Estonie,
and yet often that
Aleksandr
approach is
Selevko.
even more difficult to do as we pursue constant look of effortless skating.
At the senior level at European Championships in 2023, he plays the piano as a hobby.
And Alexander explaining that he has changed both his programs,
From Estonia,
which he doesn't always do.
Selevko.
Boyang s'entraîne au Canada avec Priya Norser, médaille olympique.
And then
et
to
Chris Wilson.
Boyang Jin.
Il est le premier patineur à avoir réalisé un quadruple lutz, triple boucle piquée en
His
compétition. Il a
resume is seemingly endless now as he
des 4 continents, au championnat du monde
turns
et aux Jeux
27 and
olympiques.
continues
Il a
to
été
compete at the
plusieurs
highest of
médaillés.
levels.
Représentant la Chine, Boyang Jin.
And the oh, good stuff. Happy days to see the quad lutz in practice as well. That suggests that his tech score is resuming the quality that he used so successfully. For many years, Boyang Jin was responsible for changing the landscape of the technical score. He was one of the first skaters to include quad lutz triple toe, but thereafter injuries put him into the wilderness somewhat. And now, though, his return as some fans look on excitedly ringside, bride to be.
Messieurs, 15 minutes d'échauffement.
Skater, there's 1 minute left in his warm.
So many of the skating community delighted to see Boyang on top of the results after this short program. Whether or not that's possible to maintain over the course of a free skate, we shall see. And I think what's the most heartwarming for us to hear is that Boyang acknowledged yesterday in the mix zone that he loves skating. He still loves it. And he feels that he can still do it. And why not? And we are grateful for it. So often it's hard for the athletes, if they've had great success, to then continue to push themselves through the rigors of training, both physically, mentally, financially, to continue to put yourself out there on the world stage. But Boyang Jin's love for the sport is the driving factor, and there's surely no better rationale for continuing to push yourself in this incredibly difficult discipline. As some hearts are shaped for us and some young fans look on. It's you.
Sur la glace, représentant le Kazakhstan.
First to skate from Kazakhstan, Mikhail Shaidorov.
So, dabbed up by Alexei Urmanov, Mikhail Shaidorov from Kazakhstan. He struggled with his usually reliant quad lutz in the short program. That will be the first jumping pass, but look out for the monstrously big combination he has planned as the second element. Triple axel quad toe intended. Such an effortless quadruple lutz. Triple axel. Oh! Triple axel, triple toe. Quad flip. Mikhail just has such an efficient rotational position. He assumes it so easily and effortlessly. Oh dear. Opening up on the toe loop. Mikhail Shaidorov from Kazakhstan. Interesting as to his reaction to the performance. Certainly significantly better than that which was delivered in the short program. Today, managing that quadruple lutz. He's come in as having a Q mark on the landing of that, so that a quarter rotation short. So previously, he had a huge boost in the grade of execution for that jump, but now the judges are forced to drop that a little lower. And then the third jumping pass went in the system as a quad lutz with repeat. As Urmanov hugs him right side. But yes, it was a quad flip. Technical panel initially inputting that as a lutz, not a flip, which it was. There, the quad lutz, and done with such quality. Here was the combo that was intended to be triple axel, but too much of a... Oh, whoa! It was quad toe. I thought it was, and it went in the system as triple axel, triple toe. Okay, we have just seen something monumentous. I apologize to everybody watching. When I saw it, it looked so ridiculously effortless that I thought it was triple axel. I thought it was triple axel quad toe. It went in the system as triple axel triple toe. But no, Mikhail Shaidorov has done history making in doing a combination of momentous difficulty. Triple axel quad toe, a base value of 17.5. The GOE has added that to make almost 19 points. No wonder now the reaction to it. I apologize to Mikhail, because what has just been done here is off the scale impressive. He has done something, sets a new precedence. So, quad lutz to start, then triple axel quad toe, not the triple toe we initially thought, then quad flip, and that really serves as testament to how good his technique is, that he can make the assimilation of his rotational position so quick, so seamless, so effortless, that the technical panel, and myself included, questioned the rotation that was done. Huge kudos to Mikhail and his team here. How much will that help, though? So it's 151.97, so even though he's delivered incredible feats unseen before, the skating skills, the presentation and the composition, and some of the technical mistakes later on prevent him from being competitive here.
Sur la glace, représentant le Japon.
Next to skate from Japan, Koshiro Shimada.
And now to Koshiro Shimada, 5th place after the short program. 10th here last year, hoping to maintain the position he finds himself in as he uses Danse Macabre by Saint-Saëns, the same music he used last season as well. Easy triple loops to open the program for Koshiro. Good koto. Over-rotating on his triple axel. Koshiro continuing to push for speed, making his way through the jumping passes. Just tight again there on the triple loop. Nice 1 foot axel in the choreo sequence. into the hydroglide. Great speed in the stars into the butterfly flying camel. Japan's Koshiro Shimada. And you can see greens and reds assigned to the different elements within his free skate. A mixed bag, but after seeing the history-making brilliance of the triple axel quad toe from Mikhail Shaidorov, fascinating to see the contrast then in the approach from Koshiro Shimada. Not the same planned program content, not the difficulty, although there was one quadruple jump, but a much greater focus and fixation on the skating skills, the presentation and the composition. And although he has used the same free skate as last year, he's been vocal about the changes that he's made to the choreo sequence, and that to me was the best of all the elements for Koshiro Shimada. A skater who has a broad spectrum of interpretation, from his exhibition gala performances to both the short and the free, as Stéphane Lambiel greets him ringside. So, Danse Macabre, the Dance of the Dead, the start position there as we look at the quad toe, which had the effortlessness that the judges want. Here, triple flip into triple toe, but that step out makes that one of the jumping passes that has a negative grade of execution. And probably the same for this triple axel Euler double salchow, because he cannot sustain that big landing position. Slight touchdown of the free foot there and the landing of the triple loops into the double axel. See how many of the eagle-eyed judges will have spotted that en route to the input they give on the judges' GOE. But Koshiro has spoken about how happy he is training in Switzerland with Stepan and the group of skaters there. Such a positive environment it seems to be. So many remarking upon the joy that they have in training as he achieves a 153.42. Third on the free skate, but second overall, and nudges the triple axel quad toe skate of Mikhail Shaidorov further down the standings, whilst Adam Siao Him Fa continues to move up the rankings. And now to America's Andrew Torgashev. This free program, the choice of his coaches, Rafael, Vera and Nadia, and the music is to pay homage to the greats of figure skating, and wants to put a spin on a classical ballet program as Andrew Torgashev skates to Scheherazade by Rimsky-Korsakov. Quad toe to start. Manages to keep the free foot off the ice in the landing of that triple axel. Oh, nice back inside bracket, such a difficult turn to do as part of his step sequence. Good example of a camel up variation on the change of edge. Little preparation, but successfully through the triple axel, double axel sequence. The triple Lutz Euler triple Salchow is backed up by a triple flip, triple toe. Brandon Frazier looks on as Andrew Torgashev delivers a virtually clean free skate. Some brilliant musicality in the choreo sequence leading into the final spin, and he looks very composed and at peace with that performance, but I suspect this is heading him towards a personal best at ISU event. And for Andrew Torgashev, a skater who has competed once at World Championships, the result here is important, but also the score important for him to contend for more ISU Championship participation as he heads towards the US Nationals at the beginning of 2025. And this huge departure from the short program, the choice of his coaches, as we see that quad toe. And there was a confidence about Andrew. That quad toe had a pitch forward landing that could have had others on the ice. Not so, neither was the optimal speed and flow into that triple axel, double axel, but he was obviously so self-assured that there was no room for error to happen. Valuable triple Lutz Euler triple Salchow at the end of the program, and then the final jumping pass, triple flip, triple toe, currently under review by the panels to assess the rotation. But there's a dynamic finish position, and there's a happy coach. And Brandon, former world champion in pairs, saying he looks great.
Put your hand out. Why? Put your hand out. Gotta feed the chicken.
Okay, we need to find out what that story is. But Andrew's success here, based on all the commitment that he's done, he spends hours at the rink, not just training himself at the gym and on the ice, but also coaching to finance the lessons he has.
Yeah, last wrap eliminated now. I was not landing that axle. That second one. Yeah. I was not supposed to land it. You hit it, and I just shook my head. I was like, wow, that was just nothing but determination. I don't know how I did that axle. You're trained, man. You're so trained. You look great. Yeah. I had no doubt. You just look like you owned every step of the program.
Wow. Brandon saying he has no doubt he owned every step of that program, and Andrew being honest and vocal and saying that he squeaked out the triple flip, triple toe, and he wasn't meant to land that triple axel.
Wednesday night runs don't stop here. No, sir. I may need to have to put in an extra, like two runs in a Wednesday after. Remember, we have an odds-on here. No.
Sounds like he trains very hard with his run-throughs, and maybe he's being forced to endure even more ahead towards the latter part of the season. Great chat between Andrew and Brandon as he achieves a 1:52.1. Not a personal best, but not far off it. As Andrew Torgashev slots into third place by just 2/10 behind Koshiro Shimada.
Next to skate representing Japan, Kazuki Tomono.
Kazuki Tomono gets ready to skate. Piece of choreography made by the great Laurie Nickel. Does he have the training time in him to give it justice?
Butterfly all alone, but can you fly on your own? Take your place in the world.
Oh, shame to see a fall on the opening quad. Quadruple toe.
Stay a while here with me, up underneath the stars.
Another quad toe plan now. Turned into a triple.
Cause you know who you are. You're a butterfly.
Down on the quadruple salto as well. Butterfly in the air as he split jumps. Appreciation of the lyrics as well as the musicality seen here. Seemingly relaxing further into the program for Kazuki. Now, the playfulness that we've seen from him in the past being expressed in the step sequence. can't help but smile when you watch Kazuki skate. Kazuki Tomono from Japan. Now, if you can see beyond the multiple mistakes that Kazuki has, I think this program has the potential to be something really remarkable. There was such variation in the music and the appropriately pitched choreography movement to that music. And although I've acknowledged through others in this performance, in this competition already, how the tech score being unsuccessful can really hamper the performance, I felt that Kazuki maintained his performance quality more admirably than many others would have when they'd had such a disappointing skate on the tech score. And perhaps we're seeing as he, yeah, he's limping, I think, as he comes off the ice. A hip injury 3 weeks ago, and much harder to disguise the lack of prep in a free skate than it is in a short program, and perhaps that is what paved the way for the disappointment on the quadruple jumps in this free skate. As we get a chance to look back at what happened. Here, the first of the quad toes, and unfortunately down, but this, the second of the quad toes, popped into triple. And then I think this is the first of the axles, Euler double salto. But to his credit, laterally, showcased a little bit more comfort with this, likes of the triple flip. Double axel. And then a smile on the landing of that triple axel. And that angle doesn't do it justice, but the off-axis finish position that Tomono assumed at the end of the program, showcasing a range of movement that isn't conventional. So excited to see how that program develops. That said, 2 falls, some pop jumps, make it uncompetitive here. And Tomono has a 148.03 free skate score, 6th in that portion of the competition thus far, 5th overall, as Siao Him Fa secures now a medal as he jumps up the standings with his free skate. And now to the Estonian 23-year-old Aleksandr Selevko. As I mentioned, he changed both of his programs this season, not something he always does, and this showing such stark contrast to the short program as he skates to baseline loss. Masses of height, but uncontrolled on the landing of the quad toe. was familiar music, but phrased appropriately for Aleksandr. Down again on the quad toe, and that time won't receive the full base value because of the rotation. Again, rotation issues on the double axel and then just a single axle at the end of that triple flip sequence. Aleksandr Selevko from Estonia. So brilliant in this short program, and indeed Aleksandr had the highest program component scores of the entire field of 12 men, suggesting the judges appreciating his skating skills, presentation and composition the most of all the men yesterday. And this program too, also a showcase of his musicality, different style, blues yesterday, tango today, different choreographer, great skater, but similar perhaps to that of this Trophy Metropole performance that he had in Nice not long ago, where he had 3 falls and a score of just 125.56. So Aleksandr aiming to assume more consistency as we see that triple lutz, which is looking like it would quad easily in the future. As we see some of the other mistakes that are made in the program. Triple axel with a hand down into double toe, went for the second quad toe. That was the plan, that was the intention, but it gets an under rotation and a fall, and it's a repeat because it's not a combination. So a quad toe done well on its own, if you take the Siao Him Fa quad toe that had almost 12 points because of its success. Unfortunately for Aleksandr, his quad toe there, just 2 points based on the ramifications of what went wrong. So he will be eager to demonstrate some consistency as the season progresses. You can see there the landing of his right foot on the double axel was, I think, downgraded, perhaps just under rotated. But such a captivating skater. I really, really enjoyed the short program. And I'm on the lookout to see him for the rest of the season and see how that develops as to this free skate. But of course, we'll need the tech score to improve. Interesting to just see some strapping on the right arm and right shoulder of Aleksandr, so perhaps a bit of an injury kept it at bay there to work through. And yesterday Aleksandr explained that Europeans and World Championships will be the most important competitions of the season for him. He's not being shy and acknowledging that the ISU Championship events at the later part of the season in 2025 are the focus. And so perhaps that's the rationale for this kind of skate here, because it's all stepping stones towards what he prioritizes in the season. So 7th on this day in the free skate, 140.38. And indeed, overall, 7th place for the Estonian as he drops down from that healthy 2nd place short program. As we look to the final competitor in this men's event, few would have predicted, as we see his fans cheer him on. Other skaters, actually, that's a junior pair team from France, Romain Telemaque and Luc Economides, that Boyang Jin would be the winner after the short program. Wish him all the best in having another clean, solid skate in Angers. Couldn't replicate the quadlets from the warm-up. But lands the quad toe. A bit short of rotation on the triple axel. Oh no. Single axel. A double 3-turn in between the triplets and the triple toe. The crowd doing all they can to continue to support Boyang. China's Boyang Jin completes his free skate, and it interests me that the skating community and the diehard fans tend to fall in love most with the skaters that have quality components, quality skating skills. But Boyang Jin, whilst that's not his strength, he is amassing more and more fans because of the longevity in the sport and his continued desire to be on the world stage. And after the event yesterday, he quite simply acknowledged he continues to skate because he loves figure skating, has always loved figure skating. And I love figure skating, and so many of us do that enjoy the sport. So we are behind him and his continued participation. Just unfortunate that on this night, he couldn't repeat the success of the short program as he bids to return to one of the world leaders. Here's the loops. We saw quad loops in practice and warm-up, but unfortunately that's under-rotated with the fall as Brian Orser looks on. Triple axel also a little under-rotated. So, and then consequential single axel. So Boyang is a skater who shot to fame with his technical element score prowess and brilliance. He yesterday, although the winner of the short program, as we see that double three turn between the triple, although he won, that was based on the cleanliness of his skate. He was actually 5th in the component scores. So for Boyang, when the tech score isn't working, there's not a second mark that he can rely on to keep him in contention. And so unfortunately, he is going to have a similar sort of flip to Adam Siao Him Fa in the rankings, because although he's given a Spider-Man as an homage to his most popular ever program as a stuffy, Boyang is likely to drop the standings. But hopefully this experience and winner of the short program is something he can carry as motivation for the rest of the season. 11th of the 12 on the free skate, and indeed he does exactly that. He flip-flops with Adam Siao Him Fa from 1st to 8th, and Adam 8th to 1st. And a very close 2nd and 3rd in the standings. So Adam continues to showcase his ability to jump the standings. At the World Championships, he was 19th in the short program and 2nd in the free skate. Here, he was 8th in the short program. Winner of the free skate and winner overall by 13 points, showing that he was ultimately a class above the rest of this field, as was predicted coming into this event, despite the lack of preparation time that he had. And Andrew Torgashev comes away with a bronze medal. That a big surprise. Shout out to Mikhail Shaidorov, creating history with the triple axel quad toe. I mean, that it's a shame that that's not rewarded with the medal, because it's quite an astounding achievement that he has demonstrated. Shortly we get to hear from the winner, Adam Siao Him Fa.
Hello, Adam. It's an honor for me to be here, seated with you, because you won the event. C'est un honneur pour moi d'être assis à côté de toi, qui vient de gagner la compétition. I have a question hitting my mind after your performance. J'ai une question qui me vient à l'esprit après ta prestation. It's World Championship. You were in a 19th place after the short program, and you ended at the 3rd place. And here, you were 8th after the short program, and you won the event. So, vous étiez 19e après le championnat du monde et vous avez terminé à la 3e place. Et ici, 8e après le short programme et vous terminez à la 1re place. So, do you have a comment, something to say?
Bonjour, merci à tous. Alors, tout d'abord, ça me fait extrêmement plaisir d'avoir pu patiner aujourd'hui à Angers. Et vraiment, je suis de retour. Hein.
Yes, you are very pleased to be here in Angers, but you didn't answer to the question. Vous n'avez pas répondu à la question.
C'est vrai que ça ressemble beaucoup à l'épisode des championnats du monde à Montréal. Mais justement, j'ai appris de cet événement et j'en ai fait une force. Donc, j'ai pas abandonné le programme court. La compétition n'était pas terminée. Et donc là, je me suis vraiment amusé et je suis allé me battre à fond.
So it's a force that for you to do that, you enter on the ice with the aim of having fun, and it worked. Ça a marché. So what is your next event or your next performance to do? Quelle est votre prochaine compétition?
Donc là, la prochaine compétition sera le Grand Prix de Chine qui aura lieu dans 3 semaines à peu près. Et donc là, je vais retourner me préparer. J'ai eu un été qui était assez mouvementé suite à ma blessure. Donc j'ai quand même pas mal de recul dessus. Donc tout ce début de saison, ça va être vraiment une partie de préparation pour être vraiment prêt sur la deuxième partie de saison avec les championnats d'Europe et les championnats du monde.
So next one will be the Grand Prix of China, and we wish you the best, of course. On te souhaite le meilleur résultat, une bonne préparation, et en tout cas, tu es un sacré gagnant. Voilà, félicitations. You're a great winner. Thank you, Adam.
Well, great to hear from the winner, Adam Siao Him Fa, and the interviewer again acknowledging his mesmeric ability to move up in the rankings. He is a history maker in achieving the biggest change from short program to free skate when he did that at World Championships, and he's done it again, moving from 8th to 1st. But a huge moment also for Andrew Torgashev, moving up from 4th place after the short program to take the bronze medal, joined there by his coach Brandon Frazier, a friend of him who joined him on his travels. And now that will hugely aid his confidence heading towards US National Championships, as we see another confirmation of movement in the standings with Koshiro Shimada moving up from 5th place as the men jostle throughout the standings between the short program and the free skate. Stéphane Lombiel cheering his longtime student on. But the June soundtrack prevails again as Adam Siao Him Fa skates to the title. And now he takes 15 points, and he will try to replicate what Ilya Malinin has done with 2 titles when he competes again at the Grand Prix in China, the final stop on the International Skating Union's Grand Prix Series 2024. Well, that concludes the men's free skate. We look ahead to the ice dance competition, which comes up after this resurface break.